Hello, everybody. Welcome to week one of the ICHOR Origins podcast. My name is Soulcatcher, and I am the owner and founder of ICHOR Esports. What I wanted to do with this ICHOR Origins podcast and kind of this idea of maybe a 3 week podcast, which is what I'm thinking we're going to do, is to kind of let our community know and let our fans know just exactly what it is that ICHOR Esports signifies, what we stand for, and kind of what we aim to accomplish. So for this week, it's just me. For weeks 2 and 3, where we will be covering the present and the future of ICHOR Esports, I will likely bring on guests who will be either current or former members of ICHOR Esports. But for now, when I'm just talking about kind of the creation of ICHOR and um, why I made it, I'd like to have it just be me, so it's kind of more personal. It stays a little more kind of true to form. It's also probably going to be a little bit more boring, but we'll get started. Yeah, so just kind of what I wanted to talk about was, why did I personally decide to make this team, and what is it about this team that I feel is, really special. So I'm going to start off by saying that, I started ICHOR Esports at a very weird time. I think had I thought it through, I would have started, the formation of my team a good deal sooner. Uh, I started ICHOR Esports the very first week of the World Cup online open qualifiers. And so, this was a good time, I'd say, to kind of get an idea of the potential of players because a lot of unknown names, a lot of you know, lesser known people were really starting to stick out. This was like kind of that first week where people were like, "Oh, wait, it's not all just like Tifu. It's not all just Cloaksy. There's more to the Fortnite Pro scene than, having Ninja coming through and demolishing a bunch of other people in some LAN at TwitchCon." Um, it was kind of this time where people were, yeah, they were just realizing that, they had the potential to win millions of dollars and that they had the, if they had the skill, they could at least win some cash over that first weekend. So my old clan, my gaming clan, Nexus, kind of fell apart a little while after I joined. And I guess it was just because the clan leader decided that there were better things that he could be doing, and that he wasn't a big fan of trying to organize an entire team. But it left me as someone who had just started realizing that I could take a game like Fortnite to the next level. It left me realizing that there was something else I could do. Like I didn't, I no longer had to just be playing Fortnite for fun, which I really do. Like, I enjoy Fortnite. I think it's an amazing game. But that there was this potential, like this idea that with the World Cup coming up, everything that I could play and I could play well. And I could try to bring other people with me on kind of this journey of, how do I say this, kind of just like, playing at the next level. So, I had a few connections, got some really early members, got, like the moment I had this idea, right? I just threw together like the crappiest Discord server you've ever seen, right? It had like 4 channels. And I immediately started sending out messages to players that I, had faith in, that they were like good players. That's when I got some players interested, like, getting Zayras in on it, getting Love Noobs in on it. And, from there, oh yeah, getting a Sungra to come and it's kind of like a supporting role, not a true member, but someone who, was always there to like, fill in a slot if someone needed a partner or something like that. And I guess from there, just with World Cup going on and school, I was, busy as heck, but I remember like, sitting down in, middle of class, whipping out my phone, opening up the Discord mobile app, and putting out messages on like random scrims discords, right? Like the official Fortnite Discord, saying, oh, I'm looking for like goated players, blah, blah, blah. But I think I kind of quickly realized that that wasn't the greatest way to go about things. Like okay, I will say, it worked out great in the fact that that's how we found Jesse and Typhoon, who I'd say are both maybe our strongest um, competitive players, on our entire roster. But it was a lot of times it was just, a bunch of kids who maybe didn't really care. They just wanted to be in a big clan. They wanted to get maybe a shout out on some Instagram with, you know, 3K followers or something to try to get, to try to further their own career. But that was never kind of my intention was never to make a clan. Um, and it still isn't actually. Uh, my intention back then, and still now to some extent, was to make a competitive team, a group of players who could play really well, a group of players that would take the game seriously and who'd, dedicate, time and energy into making themselves better. And so, like going off of that, I think, I looked, after that first week, looking at players who was winning, like that's when I think the Bloom, that team, I think that's when they kind of like started to take off. And I was looking at that, you had Kangarna coming into the scene, coming in hot, picking up players and they're like, trying to talk about like open tryouts. And I guess that's kind of always been my inspiration, right? I didn't want to have, that massive clan. Like, you know, I wanted to have a small team that could really just, it wasn't like I'm not here to, like build this ginormous community around my, 700 plus member like roster of just people who are, good at like all kinds of things. I'd rather just have like this small, really strong competitive team. Um yeah, so that was just kind of where, you know, that my ideas came from, like I just had to think of, I needed something. I needed some kind of like support system for World Cup. And also, I just wanted to be able to provide, other people, other players with this ability to, improve themselves and improve me all at the same time. Um, and I think it'd be good to kind of get like, I see nothing wrong with getting a massive following. I know I just said like I didn't look for like this massive clan with a massive following, but I'd rather have just like a team, like a small team that people look up to, And I think that's what really happened with Bloom, right? Like I'd say it all changed the moment Riverson qualified. That first week, the moment he qualified, people were going, "Wait, what's that Bloom thing? What does that mean?" Like these guys have Bloom in their name. What does that mean? And then like I guess people started realizing that the players on this team had just been playing together and they'd been working together and they were really good and they were winning a lot of money and people were going, "Wait, why am I not doing that?" And I was looking at that and going, why am I not doing that? Like these are players that work together to improve themselves, and that's what I want. And I think as time's gone on, kind of my thinking on this subject has changed a little bit. But you know, I don't think it's like I don't know. I don't think it has changed all that drastically. And I think while I've had new ideas about what I want Iker Esports to be, and while I've had like more people step up and say, hey, like this is my idea and can you help me with this or can I help you with this? Um I'd say my idea has always kind of stayed the same, right? It's always been just to have, a team that I run it, I own it, but in the end it's not just about me, right? It's not about, getting all this clout or anything. It's really just about making, getting a solid group of players that like me all together and just working hard to see where we can get with it. And yeah, in those early days, like recruiting people, there were people who, they'd see my recruitment message and, I'd get questions like, how many people are in your Discord? And, I'd tell them like 7. And they'd go, no, I'm not going to join a team with only 7 people. Why would I ever do that? You know, I don't join a community with 7. Or they'd go like, yo, do you guys offer free GFX and VFX? And I'd say, no, like we don't. And they go, oh, well, what kind of a clan are you then? And I'd say, we're not a clan. I'd have people to go like, oh, you're a team. Do you offer contracts? I'd be like, nah, bro, I'm just some broke kid. Are you kidding me? So I think a lot of those early days kind of led me to realize like what some players wanted and how like there were those players that didn't realize that they could really I guess succeed doing things that playing competitively, and they instead just wanted to like come in and try to see what they could get out of a clan rather than seeing what a clan could give to them or what a team could give to them. um yeah, I don't know, I'd say I don't know, just those early days. It was an interesting time, but uh, I don't know. I'd say I can't be happier about where we are now, and where we're gonna go. And like personally, ICHOR Esports has been kind of like my pet project, right? It's brought me no major success. I haven't, like ICHOR Esports hasn't blown up. It's not become this big, massive, juggernaut of the esports industry. But that's never what I expected from it. And while I think that's a place that you know, we could be in the foreseeable future, it's not a place that we are right now, and it's definitely not a place that we were then, back when we were in Discord with one voice channel and 2 chat channels and, you know, 5 members off the bat. So yeah, I'd say I've learned so much while trying to get ICHOR Esports up and running and just kind of keeping it alive. But I think we're going to be ready for the next step, and the place we are now is pretty great. So thanks for tuning in to listen to me ramble for like 13 odd minutes. And yeah, I think this is where I'm going to call it quits for this week. Next week, going to bring on a guest and talk about where we're at currently and what kind of things we're striving to do right now. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. Hopefully, this has been a little bit enlightening. Hey guys, Soul again really quick. If you want to support ICHOR Esports and what we're trying to do and in our future endeavors, or if you just want to stay up to date on the ICHOR Origins podcast, make sure you're dropping a follow or a subscribe depending on where you are so you can get notifications of when we upload the next episode and just about what we're doing. Alright, thank you guys so much for the support and hope to see you guys next week. Peace out.